Here we are, another beautiful afternoon on our balcony.
Isn't it absolutely beautiful? We're going to be in for a really hot weekend.
We are.
Yes, we are enjoying a heat wave at the moment.
We are. This is July, and it's been a great run of weather.
It's beautiful.
So we thought we would respond to some of the comments that we've been getting in the last two videos. You know that we attempted to explain FIRE to everybody, which was the financial independence, retire early concept. And some people were asking us how we'd done it, haven't they, Tina?
Yeah, they were asking if we could share our story of a little bit more about how and when we started. So we thought we would tell you about that today.
So it's especially relevant for younger people as well, because it all started when I was 38 and we decided to get serious about saving and investing money.
That's right.
So it was fortuitous because I've read many self-help books and financial books, and they're all pretty dry.
Didn't get your interest, did they, Norm?
Well, the finance ones were complicated and went into way too much detail.
Yeah, not very easy to access.
Anyway, there was a book that had just launched a year or so before I was 38. We came across it, and it was called The Wealthy Barber. And it's a Canadian author.
Yes, what a great book.
And it was totally different from the point of view of financial planning. The book was a story. It was a story of a small town, of a young man who'd gone back there with his young family to visit his family. And it's just a very nice story, but every chapter tells a story of financial planning, and it made so much sense to us.
For the first time, we really understood it, didn't we? We kind of read it and thought, we can do that.
Totally, we could.
Didn't we?
So the first concept that I think it was David Chiltern who wrote the book. His first concept was pay yourself first. If you could save something like 10% of your salary that you make as it comes into your bank account, and you have it automatically debited to an investment, then you never miss the money, especially after a few months of doing it. So we set up a standing order of 10% of each of our pay to go to a mutual fund. And then that brought on another concept, which was dollar cost averaging. So what we did is had the mutual fund company buy stocks in the selected mutual funds that we chose every month from our standing order.
And one thing we did find was that after a few months, you just totally forget that this money is going into your saving because you're so used to it that the money's gone.
Yeah.
And then you just spend with what's left. And it didn't really take us very long before we got into the swing of not even missing the money, did
No.
we? But we knew that it was really the start of our ladder, wasn't it?
So once we'd done that, we'd also bought a house recently when I was 38. So we had a mortgage, and in Canada we're very fortunate that the mortgages can be prepaid without penalty. So one of the other concepts was to accelerate our mortgage payments.
Yeah, that was another new thing we found out about, wasn't it? Was accelerating the mortgage payment. And we did that by, as most people know, everybody starts off paying monthly.
That's right.
And then we found out that you can pay bi-weekly, and this was new to us, but what it actually meant was you actually paid them more money overall in the year.
Yeah,
So
you would end up
speeded
with
it up.
26 payments, which gave you a month more
Sort of like
of mortgage payments. So you were making 13 monthly payments in 12 months.
And then we also...
And that trimmed about 5 years off our mortgage, just right there.
We were really surprised just how much, just making that change from monthly to bi-weekly, how much money it actually saved us.
And then the mortgage company or the bank that we had it allowed you once a year to increase your payment by 10%.
So we did that too, didn't we?
We did. So that was another form of forced savings. So they would also allow you to repay 10% of the outstanding mortgage amount if you had the capital.
Yeah, if you were lucky enough to have that excess money floating around.
We never did. We
No,
were
we
living
didn't.
paycheck to
But we
paycheck.
did do the increasing bit by the 10%, and we found that relatively easy to do.
So we had
But it helped a lot.
two bits of financial planning
Yeah.
going on, paying off our mortgage quicker and investing in mutual funds.
Yeah, and then with accelerating everything to do with the house to be paid off quicker, that was great.
So after about 10 years, it became obvious that the mutual funds weren't brilliant investments for that period of time. We're talking about the late 90s, early 2000s. And in Canada, again, we had a very expensive MER, a management expense ratio for the mutual funds. So as they lost our money in the investments, they also paid themselves first from our investments.
Yeah, they were looking after themselves first, right?
So we thought we could do a better job ourselves. So we started liquidating some of those mutual funds, transferring them to a stock account where we bought dividend stocks. And so that opened up another level of investment where we were getting dividends quarterly.
And that's worked really well for us, hasn't it?
It has.
We tend to pick the very strong ones, don't we? Sort of like banks and things that have been around for a long time.
So anything that was available to us to help us with our limited funds, such as the accelerated mortgage payments, the pay yourself first, we also took advantage of the registered retirement savings plan that there is in Canada. So we would get a tax break on the money that we would put in there, which directly reduced your tax at tax time. So we had those going in the background as well. And initially they were mutual funds, and then we converted those over to dividend stocks. Although we did keep some mutual fund accounts for diversification. Yeah. And that's pretty much how we got started, with the idea that we would like to retire early and not have to work till we're 65 or 70. We both had jobs without pensions, so we just knew there wasn't going to be a company pension for us. So we knew we would have to look after ourselves.
But the one thing that we always had as our main thing was the house, wasn't it?
It was.
As well as everything else. We knew that if we could pay the house off, then when we wanted to sell it, and we obviously, as you know, we did that now 5 years ago.
Yeah, that was one of our previous videos.
So when we sold the house, it has allowed us to retire early. But going back, that was, our story started when you were 38, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we found a book that we could understand on finances.
So really, whether you're, if you're in your 30s or 40s, even late 20s, it's all good things that could just get you started, isn't it?
We'll try and find a link to the Wealthy Barber and put it in the description down below.
Yeah, because
we're not sure if it's still in print or not, or whether you could get a second-hand copy.
I'm sure probably.
But it's a great read for a younger person, and it's very easy to follow.
It is.
So we're still on fire, so it seems. We're wearing a fiery shirt.
You are. Yeah, we are. And the wonderful thing is that we're now reaping the benefits from everything we've done, and we're really enjoying our life now, aren't we?
So those decisions that we made when I was 38 allowed me to retire at 55. Obviously, we took our time doing it, but I really did enjoy working at the time. And an opportunity came along when I was in my 50s. Tina took hers a few years later.
Yeah, I guess I was 58, wasn't I?
And to be honest with you, if we knew that retirement was this amount of fun, we would have retired first and never bothered with working.
Because the funny thing is, like, we have so much to do at the moment. We're so busy doing stuff. I almost don't even know how we manage to go to work.
No.
Because we're so busy doing your business, doing YouTube, we do hobbies, we go swimming, we go away, we travel. It is amazing, isn't it?
It really is. So anyway, we're just to update everybody. We today have moved into stage 3 of opening.
Oh yeah, this is a big thing for us, isn't it?
In our region of Ontario. So we're going to keep an eye on and see how that progresses. But it looks like restaurants are going to be opening, and
maybe gyms and things, and groups, slightly bigger numbers getting together.
So we'd just like to say thanks to everybody who watched the last couple of videos of our attempt at giving some financial accounting of how we did it.
Well, financial help too, because we're not financial advisors.
No, don't take our word for anything financial. It worked for us, but it might not work for you.
Yeah, but it also might help other people too.
We're hoping so.
Yeah, which is great.
So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
Yeah, that's great. Bye-bye.
Bye.